What's up, guys? It is me, Richie, the Real Deal Heel, and we are back once again for another edition of your favorite YouTube sensation, the newly created, the newly formed Fig World Order. And of course, we're talking about the show, the best show on the planet right now that you can't live without. We are talking about Fig Life. And we all know that you're living the Fig Life out there, but one person that I damn sure know that is living the Fig Life on the daily is my good buddy, my good partner, my best friend, John Wengling, Johnny Podcasting. How you doing today, brother?
Doing great, Richie, man. It's always great to be here. Always great to be taping the show. Love doing it. Thanks to all the great people watching on YouTube out there. Make sure you hit that subscription button, hit that bell to get notified. And I'm telling you, we appreciate everything, man. It's always good to be here, brother. We got some good things today to share with everybody and some fun stuff. So, what do you say? You want to hop right into it, man?
Dude, I'm always strapped in, ready to go. You know that.
All right, man. So, let's start with the first one. First one, we're going to go back. We're going to do a for sale one. So for sale by owner, because we do have a store and we do put things on there. We do have collectibles that we put out to you guys, and you can find them at rcpodnetwork.com. It's got links to our podcast on there as well. And all you got to do is go over the store. You can see pictures and notifications on what they're worth and all that good stuff. So we do tend to do a for sale one, once every probably 7 or 8 shows, and just kind of showcase some stuff we're selling. You got a cool one, and I got a cool one too that we're both selling out there. What do you got for us to start, bro?
So this is something that I created myself, and I had this person sign, and I thought it was a great addition to the collection simply because it's what he used when he came out to the ring, man. And this guy was an iconic figure from my childhood. I know that Vampiro was one of my favorites, as you all know, and this guy was the direct rival to him over on the WWF side of things in the Monday Night War. Of course, I'm talking about Gangrel. And when Gangrel came out in the iconic Brood entrance that everybody loved and fell in love with, he carried a chalice with him. And of course, what I bring to you today that is for sale by owner, which is me, is of course the chalice of Gangrel. And what I did here was I took an acrylic cup, and of course I did a little thin coating of painting there of simulated blood, of course, around that chalice, and just put a little spot of blood at the bottom. Of course, he took a drink and he would spit it out at the crowd. He actually signed this here. Of course, there's his iconic signature, Gangrel himself. So we're actually selling this one out to y'all at a pretty reasonable price. All the options are available. I'll even trade this if somebody's interested in trading. I'm a figure collector, but you got to have something pretty good to take this off my hands
Mm-hmm.
because this is something that I cherish. So uh, DMs are always open. Hit me up for it, or you can also pay cash because cash is king at the end of the day. So
Absolutely, man. That's a great score right there, man. For anybody that's interested, anybody that's a fan of the Attitude Era, man, that's a cool ass chalice and a cool reminder of Gangrel and what he, would come out with. One of the most iconic gimmicks of the Attitude Era, and just an awesome find right there with that, man. So if you guys want it, check it out. rcpodnetwork.com. DMs are open for both of us on Twitter that you'll see out here tonight. III_Reardon, REARDON for Richie, and at WWR Podcast for me. So, Richie, I got another one here for sale for us. So I picked this one up, and it was a really good deal, and it's a TNA figure. It's not something that we typically do with WWE, and it's not rare by any means. It's not saying that, but it's a really cool figure. It's a really good design that they did on this, and it's a really cool figure, man. I'm just gonna say that the TNA line is fantastic with what they've done, and they have some great stuff that's out there on that TNA line. And this one's definitely not going to disappoint you either, because this was a great one. And I got the Velvet Sky TNA or Impact Wrestling one. Move it back a
looking
little.
good there. Is that
Yeah,
Bubba Ray's wife?
that is Bubba Ray's girl. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a good figure, man. Impact Wrestling came out with some cool ones there.
Yep. And this line right here specifically had Austin Aries, AJ Styles, Velvet Sky, and Jeff Hardy. It's actually the Jeff Hardy that we own here for our autographed one that was in this line. So we have a really cool autographed one that I showed earlier, and this is the Jeff Hardy one that was in there from the same exact line. So it's a really cool figure, and It's very fairly priced over there on the website as well. It's actually below from what I've seen it going for, so check it out if you're interested in it. I dropped it also lower for a reason. As I always say, I want to be transparent with people. The box is in not so great condition on this one. It's got some creases. It's got some little bit of wear and tear on the bottom of them. You can see kind of like right down here. There's some creases throughout it up here at the top. And
Yeah.
you anybody that's a collector that wants things in mint, this is definitely not mint condition with the box, not even close. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's definitely got enough damage on the box on certain spots, as you can see again on the edges for everything, that
Yeah.
we want to make sure we give a fair deal to people from it, with it being in very average shape on the box wise. Nonetheless, it's a beautiful figure. It's a great design. It's great to anybody's collection that they could want. And it's extremely fairly priced compared to other things you'll see out there for the condition that it's in. So I assure you, the price that you're getting is getting a fair markdown from what it's worth due to that. And it's still, everything else is in great condition on that. It's a beautiful figure for sale. And it is on the, if you want to see more detailed pictures of it, you can see it right there on the website as well. So you can see that very easily. And maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion because I just know what I like, and I'm like you, that I like meticulous. It's
Hey,
not,
for anyone that lets it breathe, man, that's a great figure too. I mean,
yeah.
if you're not a mint on card, or if you like to open them
Hmm.
and position them and all that kind of stuff, that's the figure
Yep.
for you right there, man. It's at a
Yep.
steal of a price.
Yep. It is, and it could be displayed too for people, man. It's not
Yeah.
as apparently obvious, as it's not awful, but it's not in the shape that we like it to be, and
Yeah.
that's why we're always say we're going to be transparent with people, especially if we're selling something. We want to make sure that we're being 1000% upfront with you and letting you know. That's the only right way to do
100%.
it. Yep.
Well, we're
And
collectors too, man. We don't
yeah.
like being disappointed, so we don't
Yep.
want to disappoint anybody else.
Yep, absolutely. But nonetheless, like I said, we're just being honest, and it's, other than that, it's in fantastic shape. Just those couple of things on the box. It's a beautiful figure. If you're into the Impact line, there's not a ton of Impact Wrestling figures that are out there. They're not rare by any means, but they're also not ones that you're going to get for a cheap price usually. The Impact line is pretty expensive, and you have a lot in the Impact line. I think you can attest to that, right?
Yeah, I do, man. I got a bunch of signed ones, bunch of regular ones. I'm actually in the quest of collecting every Jeff Hardy TNA figure out there as well. So just keep a mental note of that, those out there that want to trade for stuff. I'm always looking for Jeff Hardy in the TNA line. So, the one that we're giving away for the 500 subscribers, actually a Marvel TNA figure. So, definitely just something to think about, getting the subscribers up for
Mm-hmm.
us.
Yeah, and the TNA line, the Impact Wrestling line, really good stuff, man. It's they knocked it out of the park with the characters and the figures with what they did. And it's funny because TNA or Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it now, didn't always get the best reputation for being the best business people, and it's what has kind of killed their business through the years. But what they didn't do is they did not go cheap on this one, and the producers of this did not go cheap. Whoever create, or the people that created it as well, they got this one right 1000% with their stuff and their collectibles that you'll see for figures with whatever line that they have. They're really, really good figures, man, and really, really cool stuff that TNA did in their action figure line. I love what I see for them, and in the future, I definitely will be looking for more TNA or Impact Wrestling figures. For now, I have some other things I want to see. That's why I put that one up in the Jeff Hardy one, just because there's other things that I want to get above it. So
Right.
you guys just got to hit us up there if you want to see it. rcpodnetwork.com, and it's got links to all of our emails and how to get in contact with us. So definitely a cool figure if you're a collector. Hopefully, if you're interested, you check it out, let us know. And we're always willing to negotiate too. Like Richie had said, we're always
Yeah.
negotiable on stuff for everybody. We're never going to shut a door. If you throw a crazy, low number out there, we're definitely not going to take it because we know the value of things. But we want to make sure that we give the best deal, and that if trades happen, great. If we can all make it work for one another, that is what it's all about, man. So
Absolutely.
Well, what do you got next, man? We're looking at here. I got stamp of approval going on here, man. We got some cool stuff for the stamp of approval tonight. What's your stamp
Yeah,
of?
I got two different figures I want to show you tonight, but not for the stamp of approval. I just have this one here, but it's
Mm-hmm.
something me and you both. I think you're picking this one up here pretty doggone soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I got lucky enough to pick this up from Ringside, actually on their Black Friday special, that they were having there, and it is a heck of a figure, man. Classic Superstars, they came out with this figure in a two-pack with Eddie Guerrero, for the classic Halloween Havoc match that these two gentlemen had. And what a match it was, by the way. But of course, if you know who I'm talking about by now, it is the Halloween Havoc, Rey Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
This is actually from Elite Series 67. Get a good look at that figure, man. The iconic Halloween Havoc
Mm-hmm.
outfit that Rey wore that night. You got the cruiserweight title, which looks really good in there. Got a couple hand swaps that you can do for clenched fists. Of course, that's for photography and positioning your figure on your detolfs or whatever you do out there. Uh, on the back here, it says, "In a battle for title versus mask, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero tore the house down at Halloween Havoc '97 for the WCW Cruiserweight Champion." Rey Mysterio is one of the best little men to do it, in my opinion, to make
Mm-hmm.
it big in the business, and probably one of the most iconic wrestlers out there. Very simply for his attires, and this one here looks phenomenal to me, man. They knocked it out of the park. The one
Mm-hmm.
addition that I wish they would have done on this figure, I wish they would have followed suit with the classic superstars line and included that second mask that he had in the match.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a great addition to set this thing off. Because this little plastic deal here, you can actually position him certain ways. I could have done without that, to be honest with you, in my opinion. But other people love it. So, I mean, that's great for photography and stuff like that. Actually, the people that came in this particular Elite Series line were iconic in their own rights. Shayna Baszler, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Cedric Alexander, Velveteen Dream, and of course Rey Mysterio. That particular Jeff Hardy also had a chase variant of the red, white, and blue face paint, so that was a great one as well.
Yeah.
This was a
That
great figure, man. I love it.
you said that was 69 for the edition for them.
This is Elite Series 67.
67. Okay, gotcha. I have probably half those figures that you just mentioned. That was a great series that they did, man. That was a great line that they produced on there. Phenomenal stuff. I love the cruiserweight belt in there that they got in there, bro.
Absolutely, man. And all these factors, given the circumstances of this figure, that's why we give it the Fig Life stamp of approval there.
Hey, that's a good stamp of approval to give for that one, man. I'm telling you. I am,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna reach behind me to give my stamp of approval, and hopefully I don't knock everything down here.
It happens, man. That's part of the Fig Life.
There goes
Oh,
one.
there went the Grail, man.
Yep, there went the Grail, man. My Hogan character that I love. Hold on here. All right. Well, for my stamp of approval, I just got this in the mail today, and it could be constituted as a steal of the week too, because I think I got everything for this one for 15 bucks. Is crazy. And that was including shipping and handling. It was 15, 16 bucks, right around that range. And
Wow.
yeah, it's a classic superstars line. As everybody knows, I love classic superstars. In this line with this individual, there was Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the King Kong Bundy one, which you don't see a lot of, one of the Paul Orndorff ones, Terry Funk when he had the ECW get up there, and the one and only Iron Sheik was in this as well. And this gentleman was actually a tag team partner at one point in time with the Iron Sheik in the
Cheeky baby.
WWF. Sheiky Baby, he's going to humble somebody here this week. But he was a partner of Sheiky Baby's there back in the day, in the early days of maybe it was WWF or just the WWF, one or the other. But they actually held the belts together too. And he had been in another tag team for many years. He just recently passed away a couple years ago. And he was one of probably the most hated heels in WWF for many years.
As
And
he should
ended
have
up,
been.
yep, absolutely. Just the gimmick they played just fit it perfect. And he was a perfect heel. And funniest thing was he turned face later on, which was great, even
Yeah.
better. And he turned into a pretty big face for everybody. So without further ado, I'm going to hit you guys with Nikolai Volkov. That's not one people would probably think right off the bat. This one actually has the original tag on it when it was bought. And see,
Yep. What's that
this
going
was
for there?
$10.99 at Kmart.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was $10.99 at Kmart back in the day. I love the fact that it actually has the tag on there still from when it was bought. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know many people might peel it off, but I'm not going to. It's just
Leaves a nasty adhesive mark anyway.
yeah, I don't want to do that at all, man. And it's kind of cool to see what it was charged back in the day for this. And this is pristine right here from the seller that sent it to me. It's in flawless condition. Um, not a crease in there that I can see, nick, scratch, whatever. It's an amazing shape here. It's beautiful figure too because it really highlights Nikolai and what he was going for in his run there. I love the top hat that he has on here.
Yeah.
Isn't
That's a
that
great
cool?
one, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the red sweater too. I love that
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
That's awesome.
The old USSR red sweater he's got there, man. It's a beautiful find I got, man, and it can be constituted as stamp of approval and steal of the week because literally to get this for like 15.50, I think it was, or 16 buck range. Damn, I was hooked when I saw it. I thought it would go for more because you can see them, they can go for pretty pricey sometimes too. 40,
Yeah.
50 bucks I've seen them at. So to
Yeah.
get it for that price, great deal of the week there, great steal, and it definitely is my stamp of approval. It's a beautiful figure, man. I love it. Just glad I got it, and it's a fun one. You're gonna close us out though
Absolutely.
with the fun one. You got a good one to close us out here for, and it's gonna be the rare find. So,
Yeah.
what do you got to close us out today, bro?
Well, this particular figure, man, this is something that I had signed personally, and this guy was definitely not known for his winning in wrestling, but he definitely is an iconic guy. He was used to be called the best kept secret of wrestling, and went through a bunch of terrible gimmicks that actually turned him crazy and actually brought him into the current gimmick of this figure. He is the leader of the Job Squad. Of course, this is the classic superstar line. Al Snow from the Classic Superstars line, man. This is a great figure here. One, because he signed it, actually. What Does Everybody Want? Head. And then, of course, he signed Help Me Backwards. And, of course, he did Al Snow and numbered it 10 out of 12. This
Wow.
was so cool for him to do, man. He took a lot of time to fill that out and sign it for everybody. He had 12 of them like that there, and I was lucky enough to get one of them. In particular, it's cool because they have the Job Squad shirt on this figure, and that was always an iconic thing. I love the Job Squad and the people in it. You had Sparky Plug, Too Cold Scorpio. Of course, you had Gilbert there, Dwayne Gill, and the leader here, Al Snow. He was always cool, man. Him and Mick Foley had an iconic tag team, and he was just one of the best of all time to never make it big. He was definitely underrated in my opinion for his skill in the ring. Didn't have any favors given to him as far as paying his
Mm-hmm.
dues and stuff like that. He definitely earned his spot, and you know he was iconic for the Job Squad. In particularly of this figure, I didn't like the fact that they used the styrofoam head.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would have set this figure off a hell of a lot more, putting the actual head that he came out with. But nonetheless, it's still cool. He was known for using this one in ECW, so definitely a cool way to set that figure off. Of course, you flip it around, you got the iconic picture of Al Snow there. It gives his stats and his finishing move and the titles he's won, which are the WWE Tag Team Championship. He was a six-time hardcore champion and a European champion. In this particular series, though, you had a few legends, and one figure in particular that we've covered on the show. Bret Hart, of course, in his blue and black attire. You had Ravishing Rick Rude. You had Dusty Rhodes, Al Snow, Luna Falcone, Ernie Ladd, a very rare one in Brother Love, Mr. Perfect in his black singlet, and then you had the Mountie, and then finished off there by the one, the only Draws, which we've covered before on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, So a great line nonetheless, and to top it all off, the signature on there, the iconic signature that he made there on the box, just a great figure, man, and definitely a rare find.
That's a view, man. That's so cool that he did that with the writing backwards and that he took the time to do that. Did you meet him at a
Yeah.
signing to get that?
Yeah, it was at a wrestling convention actually out here in Arizona that he came out
Oh,
here
cool.
for. So
That's
definitely a
cool.
cool guy. Definitely took time for the fans and stuff. And Al Snow's definitely one of the best underrated stars out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt about that, man. Great pickup right there, man. And definitely a rare score. You don't 10 out of 12, that's a rare score right there, dude.
Absolutely.
That's a rare one, man. Well, Richie, it's been another great show, man. As always, right here doing it with you, and we hope everybody's enjoying it. Once again, hit that subscribe button, please. Hit that little bell for notifications right up top too, so that way you know every time a new episode drops. Pretty much every day we got a new episode for you guys, so we hope you're enjoying them. Let us know what you think. Comment on it. Email us. Our emails are right on the website, rcpodnetwork.com. I'll tell them to you right now, too. wwrpodcast.com at gmail.com for mine. Richie's is rickybobby112 at gmail.com. I got that right, Richie?
Yes, sir. And you can also find me at III_Reardon,
Yep.
REARDON at Twitter.
Yep. And DMs are open for Richie and myself at WWR Podcast for me. We also have an Instagram, Reality Check Podcast Network, and definitely go and check out the website. It's a one-stop shop for all the podcasts we do: Wrestling Anonymous, Wrestling with Reality, Rad Turtles Wrestling, amongst other shows that are on our network that we put out. So definitely give a look over there to the site, and don't forget we're going to be doing a giveaway here over the next few weeks once we reach these milestones. First milestone we're looking to reach is we want to get 500 subscribers. So when you get 500 subscribers, Richie's got a sweet deal of a figure. We're gonna raffle off to the people that subscribe, and we're gonna make sure that you get a cool little thank you gift for a raffle there from everybody. So one person's gonna win a really cool figure, and then when you get to 1,000, I'm gonna do one too. So get us to those two milestones first. We'll do some raffles out there for everybody to get you put in there and to get it selected on who wins that. So help us spread the word on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, let your friends know, whatever you got to do, push them on over there. Send our links out when we put them out on social media, and help us grow this, man, because we're having a blast doing it, and we want to keep going on the up and up. Richie, you got anything you want to say before we part tonight, my friend?
Yeah, I just had a quick side note, man. Normally I try to keep our podcast separate from this because it's a different entity and we're having
Mm-hmm.
fun and but I just got to share something, man. Our next episode for Wrestling Anonymous, we are actually going to go all out for this one and it is going to be, an episode for the ages. This is something I've been looking forward to doing. We're actually going to be covering the Benoit tragedy. So if
Mm-hmm.
y'all want to go over there and listen to that, it's going to be a great listen. Just wanted to build some anticipation up for it because we're going to have some facts that you probably didn't know. And of course, we're going to give you some updates since the case has been closed, what's been happening since. So just wanted to throw that out there. And y'all go over and also give our good buddy Rad Rob Francois a listen at the Rad Turtles podcast as
Mm-hmm.
well. And listen to all the other great shows on the Reality Check Podcast Network.
That's right, man. Well, Richie, to quote the great Tony Schiavone, we are out of time here, man. All I got to say to the Fig World Order before we leave is, man, we appreciate everything. Love y'all, nothing but support. And don't forget, we always got your back like you got ours, man, because when you're in the Fig World Order, brother, you're in it for
For
life.
life.